let's talk about my week 6 USFL power rankings. Number 1, the Houston Gamblers. Now, I was in Memphis for the Houston Gamblers game against New Jersey and for the Memphis Showboats game, my goodness, against the Pittsburgh Mallards. And I'm really up on the Gamblers, who have now run 4 in a row. Houston beat New Jersey 16-10 at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and they did that behind Mark Thompson once again. The Gamblers are undefeated when Mark Thompson plays at tailback for them. They also got Kenji Bahar back from injury in this game, and he didn't look really sharp, but he did look in control of the offense, and that's what you're asking for. Curtis Johnson has done an outstanding job in year 1. Kenji went out of his way to say Coach Johnson is a player's coach, and he is listening to us. We have input on what we're doing and why we're doing it. I think that as a quarterback, you got to love that because you got a head coach that believes in you. And Eric Price, offensive coordinator, Chris Wilson, defensive coordinator for the Gamblers, have those programs, that franchise clicking on all cylinders. Man, I always have a problem transferring from college football, where we're talking about programs, to the NFL, where we're talking about clubs, to the USFL, where we're talking about franchises. But I also think that we need to underscore a relationship between Kenji Bahar and wide receiver Justin Hall, a former Ball State wide receiver, who has been really great for them, especially in the yards after catch area. He'll catch a slant, he'll catch a screen pass, and he'll turn it into an explosive play. He was able to do that a number of times against the New Jersey Generals. But, I mean, they got a big game this Saturday against Memphis at Simmons Bank, Sunday at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, where the hometown team, by the way, is getting hometown support. Now, one of my favorite things to do as I go on these trips to cover the USFL at the different hubs, Birmingham, Memphis, Benton, Canton, is seeing how the locals think or feel about these franchises. And my goodness, they love football in Memphis. Now, I know this because I went to the University of Tulsa, which means played a number of games against the Memphis Tigers. And frankly, I mean, we can keep going about how good Memphis football has been over the last basically 25 years. But I'm also wildly surprised to see how many people are showing up to support that team. And by association, the Gamblers, right? They even got a yacht club in Memphis where you got a bunch of folks that are wearing sailors hats that are showing up to the game. I really enjoy that. And they got their first win at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium on Saturday when I was there. Not going to say, too much about this, but Houston and the Memphis Showboats, who are number 2 in my USFL power rankings, are undefeated when I'm at the stadium. Just saying, you might want to have me back sooner rather than later. The Showboats got it done with the first shutout of the season by anybody in the USFL. Won that game 22-0 against the Maulers, and they looked awesome. On defense, they looked awesome. It also extended their winning streak to 3 in a row, and it was the franchise's first shutout victory since June 15th, 1985, when the Memphis Showboats shut out the Jacksonville Bulls. My goodness. And also, I kind of buried the lead on this one. Derek Dillon performed one of the coolest plays in football. All right. So it's the end of halftime, or it's about to be. And the Pittsburgh Mallards are going to try to let Chris Blewett make a 59-yarder to put them on the board. Not only does it come up short, but Derek Dillon is sent back in case it does. And Derek Dillon has 4.29 speed and was a wide receiver on that 2019 LSU National Championship team. Also, didn't get a whole lot of run because you know what wide receivers are on that 2019 LSU National Championship team. We're talking about Jamar Chase. We're talking about Terrace Marshall. My goodness, Thad Moss at tight end, right? And then Justin Jefferson, who has become one of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. So Derek Dillon had a hard time breaking through, but not with the Showboats, all right? And my goodness, he catches this ball that is short after Chris Blewett kicked it wide right and a little short, but he catches it on the end line, lifts his heels off the line, catches it over his head, makes sure that he hasn't gone out of bounds, and then commences to start taking off, okay? And as he took off, I said out loud, "You're a dead man." And he said, "Nah, RJ, I got it. Watch this." And he spun off one defender, kept his balance, saw it was blocked up, and took it 109 yards to the house for the longest scoring play in USFL history and tied for the longest scoring play in pro football history. It is always cool for me when I get to be a part of the history of this league. And as the person who has been covering this league, I think longer than anybody since its return. I mean, I started covering the USFL in January 2022. I don't take these things for granted. And I genuinely enjoy that I get to see guys like Derek Dillon go and have themselves a day, right? He's also special teams player of the week, had 219 all-purpose yards in that win. Number 3 here, we got the Birmingham Stallions. The Stallions beat the Michigan Panthers 27-13 at Ford Field to get back on the good foot. They moved 4-2. Alex Magoo has become a point guard at quarterback. The quarterback at Birmingham is more important, I think, than the quarterback in any other franchise because Skip Holtz trusts him so much. You can hear it in the play calls. He's asking Magoo, what do you want to do? What do you like here? And Magoo is taking full control, putting guys in places to win. And when he might get the rush to him, he's able to navigate himself out of it and pick up first downs. He's 19-24, 133, rushed for 82 yards. And then CJ Marable had himself a day, 18 rushes for 100 yards in the win. I mean, you see that we got 3. And now moving to number 4, all 4 of the South Division teams with the New Orleans Breakers coming in at number 4 are in the top 4 of my USFL power rankings because I genuinely believe that if the USFL did not have divisions, we probably wouldn't see the North playing in the playoff. It has been that good in the South over the last month. The Breakers lost to the Philadelphia Stars 16-10 in a game that fell apart for them down the stretch, right? It's the second time in as many weeks that, second time in 3 weeks, I should say, that I've seen the Breakers just not be able to hold it together down the end. I mean, they did this against the Showboats as well. McLeod Bethel-Thompson, 22-38, 190 yards with 2 interceptions and a TD. The Breakers also had 11 penalties for 94 yards in this game, and that's just not going to help you win football games. Their next game is this Saturday against the Birmingham Stallions at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Protective Stadium, and I will be there for that game. I have good fortune of covering both Birmingham and New Orleans games this season. It's very cool. I got to see the Breakers become the first team to knock off the Birmingham Stallions, and now we'll get to see if the Birmingham Stallions can repay the favor on Saturday. Number 5, I got the Philadelphia Stars at 3-3. They moved to the top of the North Division with their win against the New Orleans Breakers. Case Cookus completed 17-27 for 238 with 2 INTs. And former first-round NFL draft pick at 2015 Biletnikoff Award winner Corey Coleman caught 6 passes for 76 yards. Again, I throw a rock, I hit a first-round draft pick. I throw a rock, I hit an All-American. I throw a rock, I hit a national champion. This league is full of dudes because that's just what we do in this country. We produce dudes. Number 6, I got the New Jersey Generals, mostly because I think that the Generals are going to figure it out. They had a couple of wild penalties. Center was caught downfield, right? Like 5-6 yards downfield on some plays, got called back. DeAndre Johnson got sat in favor of Kyle Oletta, who was figuring it out as it went along and put together what I thought was a fantastic drive to end the game, but it wasn't enough to get them the win. They're at 2-4, and this is the team that, again, last year went 9-1, and Coach Riley said it best in the post-game presser. Look, the games that we're losing are the games we won last year. When things just went our way, they're not going our way right now, but it's the same sort of football team. You get Darius Victor back on the good foot, you'll be okay. Number 7, the Pittsburgh Mallards took that goose egg to Memphis, but they had the defensive player of the week in Kayava Tizino, who had 16 tackles in that game. My goodness, he leads the league in tackles with 62. Him next to Reuben Foster, that's the best linebacking core in all of the USFL. And I mean that. Those 2 dudes are seek and destroy. They're outstanding. Olive Sagpula is also outstanding on that defensive line. I could keep going on. Marcus Gilbert. Jaron Horton, defense coordinator at Pittsburgh, does an outstanding job. They deserve an offense that can do what they did, frankly, the week before. Just go score some points and let the defense hold it together for you. And then number 8, we got the Michigan Panthers, who are riding a 4-game losing streak. They're going to play New Jersey at 5:30 Eastern on Sunday at Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton and hope to get off the schneid. Trey Quinn was their best player in their loss last week, though. He had 108 yards on 7 catches. Linebacker Frank Ginda has been outstanding. He had 18 tackles in that game. And Edge, Breland Speaks, is putting up numbers that have him in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. So you can see 1 through 8. I got nice things to say about everybody. It's just somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.